Streamer has returned. Bagel has been eaten. Consider Bagel dead. Can I just say, I don't care how important the world news is. It's harder to read if you write it in all caps. Just kind of a tip for anybody, you know, tweeting or posting articles about anything. It's easier to read if you write it normally. If you write it like you're screaming, it doesn't make it sound more serious. It just makes it kind of hard to read. At least for me. I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed a lot of tweets about the state of the world today that are very much like, you know, more annoying than anything. It's like, I'm just seeing this right now, which is this. It's like, fucking, can you write this tweet like a normal person, please? Thank you for your reporting, but please write this tweet like a normal person. Anyway, hi Andy, how are you? I'm back. Chat, can I get a round of beers? If you're present currently, we're gonna unpause the game now. As we get to return to playing the video game. Alright. I'll start increasing the value of some of these guild halls. You're okay, all things considered? I'm okay, because in my fridge I have about 2 liters of coconut chai beer. So I'm okay in that regard. Outside of that, very worried about people. Hello, Anander. I hope you're well. Do you really need to yell the title out? Yeah, absolutely. What are those small rooms with all the red people in them? The small rooms with all the red people in them? These are bedrooms, and the red ones are generally children. That or they're mace dwarves, but these are all kids, so these are all children. And they tend to just kind of stay in their parents' bedroom and sleep. So if I go down here, and play make-believe, because, you know, kids tend to just hide in their rooms. There's another one. Room and child. They're all just bedrooms. Thycrud, city riddled, wishes to reside here for the purpose of entertainment. No, thank you. But yeah, I'm doing all right. It's been kind of a slow week / month for the stream, but that's okay. It's February. And world stuff in the world considered, gotta count your blessings, I suppose. We also received a few more migrants. Which is currently kind of funny, actually, because a lot of my dwarves are not here. I'm gonna put you into large hammers. Frequently depressed and somewhat scatterbrained. Yeah, I know that feeling. Has no confident in her talents or abilities and is sloppy with her living space. Great. You can be a chef. And a weaver. It just shut down? Are you doing Advanced World Gen? But I have no idea what the cause of it is, so unfortunately, no, I do not. That's one of those things that could be caused by any number of things. So it's really hard for me to just say without looking at your install. Like, is there anything strange about your installation? Like, have you done any modding or anything strange? Got a human criminal in the fortress. Let's interrogate him. It's a lot of deceased goblins. There you are. Human criminal. Want to interrogate you. Unrelated to anything. BF was working fine yesterday. Just like you would create a world in Vanilla Warforged and you did the same in your starter pack. Yeah, I don't know. I would try a fresh install and see if it still happens with the same settings. I was having a weird issue with not this install, but when I tried to generate this world, I used another version that had a whole bunch of worlds generated in it, like a different install, and it just kept crashing at like year 800 or so on longer worlds. So I eventually kind of got frustrated and then just made a new install and it worked fine with the same settings. So I don't know. If you're not attached to that particular install, I would just try a fresh install. Dwarf Fortress is kind of one of those weird games where it can like sometimes just break itself for no real understandable reason. The Crimson Pulley attacked the Polished Dread, the Hate of Praises. Complex Sin. The Dwarf Besmear led the attack. The defenders were led by the Goblin Nine Eartheninde? Anyway, the Goblin 9 outmatched the Dwarf with a cunning plan, and the defenders had a strong positional advantage. It was not good for us. It looks like we lost Nox. Actually, it looks like we lost a lot of dwarves. What the fuck? 22 trolls. Looks like we bit off more than we could chew with this one. Although sometimes it says that they're struck down, yet they still come home, so I don't know. Oy vey. No, the Nox was definitely lost. Well, rest in peace, Nox. You were a good dwarf. You crazy son of a bitch. Red Octobear, would you like to join the military? You want to fight. All right, well, I need, whoops, volunteers to fight. Got some humans freaking out in the fort. We're frustrated upon seeing a human criminal's dead body. Why would that make you frustrated? I'm really sad that we lost Nox, though. Nox was a good dwarf. You're on Mac, so you don't know what's the problem. Yeah, I definitely don't know when it comes to Mac. Usually my advice is just try a fresh install. Wait, actually, Anander? Yeah, I haven't owned a Mac or an Apple device since like an iPod Mini or iPod Nano, I think was the last device I had. They're dancing. What dance are they performing? The birth of Crystal is an example of the trest sweetnessness. Sweetnessness. Sweetnesses. That's it. The work has no particular subject, and the choreography is masterful. Masterful. And they're performing the silk of rhythm. Yeah, I know very little about Macs. I mean, I would even say I know quite little about Windows as well. I use it. That's crazy. So the Russian central bank ordering market players to reject foreign clients' bids to sell Russian securities is actually kind of crazy because they're literally just being like, no, you can't sell stuff that you own here. They're literally cutting off foreign investors from selling off their stock. That's actually kind of wild. Oh, also, thanks for the coffee to the person who bought me a coffee. I saw that just now. Oh, really, Anander? Yeah, yeah, I know very little about troubleshooting shit on Mac. Holy fuck! I opened up Google Maps for the first time today. Or for the first time in the last few hours. Look at this. Look at that road closure. That's insane. That's bonkers. Wow. It's worth less, right? It's also like, you know, seizing assets from other countries. Anyway, so we interrogated this person. Oh, hey, would you look at this? So we just interrogated this person because they identified as a criminal, right? And Rhinestone met with the subject and made intimidating remarks in order to elicit information. The subject was too afraid to not comply. The subject revealed that Tuliak is, in fact, an assumed identity, and the subject's true name is Kaiwa Kewi Scrubble Clenched. Lynched. And in the midsummer of 122, the subject attempted to corrupt people, took his secure embezzled funds in practice flowers. The subject met, oh, so you're a fucking con artist. Okay. Corrupted people in order to secure embezzled funds. Okay, so it's been, like, over the past, however long this world's been in existence, this person has been corrupting and trying to embezzle funds, and he keeps failing, continuously fails. And then the subject revealed that in the late spring of 145, any prank vessels began embezzling funds as the head chef of the early coalition under the influence of the subject. So it finally succeeded in the year 145, and then seems to have just kind of continued. You fail at crime. He's literally just like, I'm sorry, I'll give up everybody that I know. Subject revealed that in the late summer of 150, the subject planned to assassinate an unidentified creature under the influence of unidentified. Who is this unidentified? That's what I would like to know. In the midsummer of 165, plotted to steal the rot under the influence hoof of rot under the influence of an unidentified creature. Damn. And his most recent crime was that in 168, Eku plotted to steal the hoof of rot under the influence of an unidentified creature via subject. So my question is, espionage of these things, and this person confessed. So we can actually arrest them? Huh. Wow. A lot of these screens I never get to see. Okay, so do I have the Hoof of Rot? Like, is that something they're trying to steal from me? You don't think you've ever seen the counterintelligence screen? Oh, yeah, we do. It's the pigtail loincloth. They're trying to steal my pigtail loincloth? Why? All of this for a loincloth, eh? This human criminal is in my fort because they're trying to steal a loincloth. How dare you? You bastards. Because art. This is like breaking into the capital of another country to steal a dildo. It's a very valuable piece of clothing, clearly. They want to learn this human chemist is visiting. Well, all right. Implicates somebody. Let's just interrogate random visitors. Like this poet. And we're probably not going to get anything out of this. And the goblin poet. And well, we already interrogated the human criminal. How about you, zombie person? And you confessed, so you get to pay for your crimes, which is 225 days in prison for espionage. The barge Gishud shared a few rumors. Did you now? But this still implicates somebody, so you know what? We're just gonna keep, you know. Let's try interrogating the fish person again, too, if they're still here. It's like breaking into a bank and stealing all the pens. Yeah, exactly. Or like the pencil lead for refillable pencils. Guys, it's okay. We broke into Parliament and we stole all of their printer paper. They're never going to be able to print any important documents again. We have succeeded. Mwahahaha. The Coal of Destiny. Performance Troop is visiting. It's very much like an Austin Powers villain power move. Holy shit. Don't mind me just watching videos of missiles going off. All right, let's read the... Met with the subject, attempted to make intimidating remarks in order to elicit information. The subject was not afraid and refused. Well, shit. Or Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Yes, very accurate. You have flooding? Hopefully everybody's okay. I don't know how long you've been lurking, Anander, but it's a bit of a depression mode stream here. Very much just something. Yeah, something's rotting. Probably all the meats. I need a bigger food stockpile in reality. My food stockpiles are all packed. I'm gonna put a bigger food stockpile down here. Ah, I get you. Yeah, very much in doomer mode right now. Just trying to keep that as like a prior warning. But I appreciate you coming by with the raid. Once again, another failed interrogation. Let's go fail another one. But yeah, no, it's been a, shall we just say, tough year so far. You know, I was like absent-mindedly hopeful that this year would be like kind of chill. Boy, was I wrong. Now, see, this is a reason to let somebody stay. This person, Vault Page, Vakar Vault Page, would like to stay here for the purpose of study. What exactly do you wish to study? Oh, you're a scholar. All right, we'll approve a scholar. We now have a dwarven scholar in the fort. She is satisfied after being granted residency. Vault Page, the scholar. He dreams of mastering a skill. 138 years old. Trust no one? I mean, yeah. She does not often feel lustful. She needs alcohol to get through the working day. Seems pretty legit. Yep. We've also got maybe some of the most memorable wartime quotes since World War II. Like, remember Snake Island in the Black Sea, and I need ammunition, not a ride. Those are going to be said many times going forward. Hey, a mathematician is visiting. Doesn't change the fact that it's terrifying, but I don't know. It's a weird time to be alive. Weird time to be alive. One of the live cams that I was watching a couple of days ago, which I can't find the stream for anymore, was in one of the smaller towns, and it was just pointing at a it was pointed at just like a football field or like a soccer field in a quieter part of the town. And then somebody, I guess, saw that there was that live stream and went out there and then started writing in the snow with footprints. with various phrases. You're on 2 months holiday. Oh shit. Well, that's cool. I was gonna ask you why you were here, because like you normally miss the stream due to work, right? Why the long break, if I can ask? I don't need a whole performance troop in the fort. Huh. That's interesting. Why in the world does the human criminal have the chained detail twice? Oh, wow. Well, congrats. I think is the only response I have to that. Damn, it's a big family. But, cheers to that, man. Congrats. Are the oldest ones, like, old enough to help yet? A lady consort is visiting. We should interrogate her. It implicates somebody. We don't know who. Lady consort is visiting? Seems like a good one to interview. Have a little chat with, I think. There you are. And while we're at it, we're going to, I mean, I think I've already given you that kind of response, you know? I definitely had that response, like, the first time you mentioned how many kids you have. I'm just desensitized to it at this point. $11, $10, and $9. Wow. I don't know how you afford to feed them all. That's the part that impresses me. It's like, how in the world? But it's also kind of nobody else's business, really. Need you to join the military? What you? Enter? It's friggin' Bob. Wouldn't. You want to practice a martial art? All right. You have a good night, Diamond. Cheers, mate. We'll see you when we see you. I keep interrogating these humans. You can get eggs really cheap. True. Yeah, I guess you have the same or similar sort of cheat codes that Hobo has, is that you work in the food distribution industry, right? Well, first off, Cussy, I've got bad news. Your dwarf died. However, I got good news. Your dwarf died in battle. We were getting invaded by goblins right as I sent out squads to fight, and your dwarf kind of got caught in between coming back from like fighting and returning. So as part of that, you kind of got decapitated. But on the bright side, he died in battle. I don't know how that's a bright side, but bright side. But cheers, man. least your dwarf died doing what they love. They died being a dwarf, which is good. Ooh. So we interrogated that poet, which is a fallen corpse. The subject revealed that Astrong Fiengowl is in fact an assumed identity, and their true name is Avuz Mighty Wires. The subject revealed that in the early autumn of 146, an unidentified creature began accepting bribes in exchange for leniency. As captain of the guard in the thin glaze, under the influence of an unidentified creature. All right. Well, all the way up to, Obok Amateur. Amateur player? Man. Because in 169, the dwarf poet Asdong Fiengowl, the Hate of Praises, corrupted Obok Amateur in order to have an agent in Hotbeards. Subject to met with Amateur and made a threat, and Amateur was too afraid to not comply, despite valuing the law. I mean, if a fucking zombie poet walked up to you and was like, "Oh, baby, and steal this shit," I probably would say the same. He plotted to steal my item, which means we have a new crime, more espionage, which implicates this person and somebody who's dead, I think. Amateur. Where's Amateur? Maybe he's not dead. Ah, there you are. Obok, Amateur. The Heimer Lord. Means I have to convict you, Amateur. I'm sorry. But, it's what justice demands. Looks like he didn't get a sentence. Meanwhile, the, or, no sentence yet. Give it a few seconds. Also, chat investments are open if you want to invest your tickets. But yeah, no, generally I would say that right now is probably not a terrible time to just be drunk. Okay, so looks like Amateur gets a very long time in prison, and so does the poet. I kind of like this, just inviting people to the fortress and then just arresting people is just kind of fun. Like, interrogating people, like, just left and right has actually been kind of fun. Let's interrogate some more people. Let's see what else we get. Actually, let's interrogate some of my dwarves. Let's interrogate Bonehead and interrogate Gunslinger, and let's also interrogate this Goblin Beast Hunter, just to see if anybody's heard anything. But first, we're chaining up the Hammer Lord. At least they're not getting a beating. That's good. Although if they were getting a beating, they get smacked with an adamantine hammer, which would be like the equivalent of getting a light tap on the back of the head with a piece of balsa wood. Also, chat, as always, if you'd like to help the stream out at no cost to you, simply give the stream a host. Go over to your channel and type in /host and then my username. Or if you have the FFC plugin, just click a button to give me a host. Because it does go a long way and it does help. And also, just thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out today. That is a big investment. Good luck, Stone. Guru Laku, my friend. It's half of a big number is big. It is, yeah. Man, I lost the last one. I've just been investing whatever is above 10,000, and it clearly hasn't been working. Petitions. Whoa, no, no, no. There goes all of those performance troops just leaving. Interesting. Fish person is talking with the zombie. Look at that. The human we have arrested and the zombie we have arrested. Both doing a lot of conversing. Also, there appears to be a second zombie. Oh my god. Also, rest in peace, Stones and Vest. Gorlak Poet is visiting. No, that I might keep. It was inevitable. This is true. Rigged? How so? Why? Because I actually won? I mean, I lost earlier. I repent! Well, at least this dwarf is going to be very happy about being in prison. I hope that you feel bad. Now we're chaining the zombie up. Who's going to feel nothing. A geographer is visiting. Now we go back to interrogating people. There's the fun bit. Yes, you did win. Mm-hmm. It's still rigged. It's just rigged in the right direction. I mean, you're supposed to call win or rigged whether or not you win or lose, right? I thought that's how that worked. It's one of those, like, doesn't matter. Still rigged. Just trying to keep up to date with what's going on. Also, I totally missed this, but apparently Holly Golly hosted us. Oops. Apologies for missing that one. Pop up. Holly Golly streams Dwarfs. Not in English, though. German, I think? Alright, let's check this one. So we interrogated one of our dwarves, Bonehead, who refused to give us any information if they had any. This is okay, though. My captain of the guard needs to get good at interrogating so we can interrogate everybody. Every now and again, I go on these interrogation sprees in DF where I'm just like, I gotta interrogate everyone! Everyone! Interrogating's fun. And then I discover all these crimes in my fort, and I'm like, oh god, I didn't need to know. The funny thing about this screen is how, like, accurately it just kind of looks like a file folder to me. Like, I don't know if any of you guys see this, but, like, this whole screen just looks like a file folder. To the point where it's just kind of funny. One of the better designed pieces of DFUI, because it's one of the more recent ones. Half the fort ends up in jail. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, to be honest, they probably deserved it. Let's think about that for a second. This is all my captain of the guard's office. Let's see how this interrogation goes. Although I will be kind of sad if this one gets implicated in anything. Okay. Met with the subject, made intimidating remarks in order to elicit information. Subject was too afraid to not comply, but no new information was revealed. Well, that's good. I mean, come on, if a fort ended because you had to arrest half of your military, you'd find it pretty funny too, wouldn't you, Anander? I tell you right now, I would find it rather funny. I mean, if I managed to total one of my forts because I arrested too many people, I'd find that pretty funny. I'd find that pretty damn funny. Yeah. So I'm just like kind of jumping through Steam a little bit in the background. And I've discovered this game called Other Realms, right? First off, this looks horrible while I'm interrogating dwarves in the background. I just want to point this out. It looks like a survival crafty game, right? You know, we've got like a building UI and all that. And then you realize that these squares down here are in a different spot in every screenshot to the point where I'm pretty sure that this is just like somebody photoshopped in a fake UI. Because like, they're all in different places. Look at that. They're all in different places. Doesn't even look like a placeholder. It looks like they just like photoshopped in false UI that isn't there. Spilled a big comfy GL compound. You know, honestly, most dwarves would probably be pretty happy. Although it's not even in early access. Maybe I should make a what the fuck is this thing? I mean, it is a dwarven-based survival multiplayer game. Build and craft your own kingdom. And it looks like almost every review is negative. Placeholder using Photoshop. There you go. All right. Merchants have embarked on their journey. Subject was cagey and refused to comply. Alrighty. Beast hunter. Goblin. The funny part about building just a big comfy jail compound is like a small percentage of dwarves would be super happy in a fort like that, and then the rest would just be like eternally like anguished and mad. Absolutely no happiness. I feel like I need to make this place bigger. How many thrones do I have? Me. What do you have against elves? The elves just bring us nice food. I don't think we've committed any crimes against elves. The only person to commit crimes in here was a human. It was the human who was corrupting people. This person. This human criminal. This guy. Ramikinen. Pulley, which isn't even their real name. Of course, they would call themselves righteous, though. It's fitting. All right. This is going to be a food stockpile. All right. Well, let me tell you this, right? The elves tell you to only cut down roughly 100 trees per year. If you're a bad enough dwarf fortress player that you need to chop down 100 trees per year and can't set up a magma forge by the time that you have diplomacy, which is when you have a baron in your fortress or a very large population, if you don't have magma forges set up by that point and you are somehow managing to output enough metals that you need that many forges, that you need to cut down 100 plus trees a year, you just need to get better at setting up magma forges, my friend. The game gives you a very easy method of never having issues with elves. You just need to be good enough at the game to not have issues with elves. It's not the fault of the elves that you need to get better at the game and learn how to properly manage the trees that you cut down. That's not the game's fault, and that's also not the elves' fault. The elves are simply asking you to please chop down less. They're not saying don't, they're just saying less, which is a perfectly reasonable response. If you're unreasonable to people that are trying to be reasonable and reason with you on their land, no wonder they're going to attack you. Who's the bad guy here? The elves don't care. Tree is a tree. And there is no way to plant trees in Dwarf Fort. You just get past the point where you need to chop down a ton of trees. Or if you need to chop down trees, like one tree gives like 6 to 12 logs. So it's like, if you're on a map like this that has a ton of trees, I'm at peace with the elves and I've had no issue. And I clear cut this whole strip all the way along here in 1 year and built a road. Haven't had an issue yet with the elves. Oh, we're fighting with a magma crab, apparently. Apparently a magma crab got into my fort somehow. Cool. So it's like, I don't know. If you're running into problems with the elves, I think you need to get better at the game. Get good. Because the elves are, like, the easiest foe to deal with in the game, and they're super easy to trade with, and it's super easy to just not chop down too many trees. Okay, so make rock pots, plain rock pots, Anander, and put meals in them. Or make plain metal balls and sell them those. Just don't sell them the bins. It's very easy. Once you've traded with the elves once or twice, any item with wood in it shows up as a different color. So it's super easy to not trade them the items that they don't want. Like, the vast majority of problems between elves and dwarves are completely avoidable by the player if you just have a little bit of game knowledge. And they're super easy to trade with and work with. It doesn't give you reason to, you know, go full-on Russia and just hate all elves and commit crimes against elves because, well, elves just want you to, like, work with them within their cultural restrictions. See nothing wrong with that. Like a perfectly fair request, personally. Do you want to say that again in my chat, Thomas? You really want to do that? Do you like actually want to do that? You sold them a rock pot full of stuff. It was a good fort. Hell yeah. Rock pots are the best. Because the only thing Russia is doing is causing a lot of loss of human life. The only thing that Putin and his forces are doing. So, I think I will just save us all the oxygen. It's okay. Streamer's now censoring his chat. Some things just don't even deserve the time of day. Tastes of Robot? Nah, I doubt it. Probably doesn't have one, which is why they feel the need to be one. Stone. Yeah. Oh. One of my recruits got knocked over while training. Makes sense. Hey, you know, I mean, we're like, what, 4 days into this now? And that's the first person to, like, go full stupid and say that? So, I guess that says something positive. Although, I'll be honest, Stone, I kind of hope that you're right that that person was a bot. Really wish people weren't that stupid. But unfortunately, it appears the people are that stupid, in fact. Oof. We had a good crowd here earlier. Things got kind of quiet in the last few hours. I think a lot of people went to bed. Chad, if you're lurking in the stream, could I get a round of beers? Curious how many of you are listening to the stream right now. Of course you can, Stone. As always, if anybody has any questions about Dwarf Fortress and Dwarfy related things, feel free to shove them at me. I'm just kind of stuck in the doom scroll, so if you guys want to change subjects, it's just a matter of you guys talking about it. I always just talk about what's on my mind, and what's on my mind is pretty obvious. That is a lot of seeds that all got put in one bag. Well, last I checked, my name isn't there, and I think that your name is Codebug, not Back, but it's good to see you again, Codebug. Welcome back. Is it possible to train things that are usually forces of darkness? Trade with things? There is one way to like force goblins to send you tribute, but they usually just attack you after a year or two. And I don't think kobolds understand the concept of commerce, let alone trading. So you can't trade with kobolds. I know I've had traders that are like mostly just goblins before. Like a group of goblins have come to trade with me on numbers of occasions. But they're usually attached to a different faction, so that's like they're just like very dwarfy goblins instead of just goblins. Or very human goblins instead of just goblins or whatever. It's like a faction that was assimilated into another faction. So technically yes, but also no. I mean, the Kobold language, nobody else... The reason they can't speak in adventure mode is because nobody else can understand them. Because the kobolds have a very strange contextual-based language, so the only time anybody can understand it is in the current context, which is also why they're so disorganized, because they can't understand each other half the time. Because without the context, they don't know what each other are talking about. Kobolds are kind of sad, actually. So it would make sense why nobody else would be able to trade with them, because their language is so nonsensical. So, kobolds. Yes, also cats can't understand a thing kobolds say, but kobolds think cats can understand what kobolds say. So they talk to cats. Wait until late spring of the year 169. Sounds like humans, what, thinking the cats can understand them? You mean like talking to their dog and such? And they're just like, dog understands me, and dog's just like, food? Pets? Look at me so I get dopamine? Refreshing Google Maps, because it appears to have turned off the traffic. No longer see traffic zones. Interesting. Can no longer see the blocked roads in Google Maps. Why is that? Yeah, exactly. It's just like when a cat's just like meow, and then they're just like, oh look, they said hello. I'm trying to get the king in this fort. Trying to turn it into this faction's mountain home. So I'm just trying to increase its military power, keep all the dwarves happy, increase the value of the fortress, until I can eventually take over and basically make it into the head of this faction, so this faction isn't so locked and isolated in mountains, which it currently is. It currently is very much like stuck separate from the rest of the world. So I'm trying to break it away from that, using this fortress and then in the future other fortresses as well. You don't seem like a very brave dwarf. How do you break an ear? This dwarf has a broken ear. I guess like his deaf. My left ear never feels discouraged, finds something humorous or inappropriate. Overinflated sense of self-worth. Meows at you for food. Yeah, that seems to sound like cat things. Yeah, I can no longer see traffic on Google Maps in Ukraine. A little freaky. Well, closing that page, I suppose. Well, new recruits are going to go get their gear. Such a fucking weird world we live in, chat room. I'm watching a few things. I'm primarily watching the World News aggregator for tweets, which just also happens to have a lot of the live UA map stuff popping in. I'm mostly looking at the Reddit aggregator, but I'm also keeping an eye on other things as well. I really like our World News' news aggregation for stuff that I need to follow. I don't use it very often, but it's one of the better sources of news because it's just aggregated by humans and cross-checked by each other, so it's pretty easy to discern what's real and what isn't. And they almost never post fake stuff, and if it does get posted, it gets removed almost immediately. Been following World News aggregator and a few live streams. Yeah, I also have a few live streams up. I have this one up currently, 5 Moments, which is just a bunch of rebroadcasts. It's muted, obviously, and that has Al Jazeera down at the bottom. But, you know, with the chat disabled, obviously, because looking at it right now, it is actually less of a clusterfuck than normal. Oh, I see, because they put it in slow mode. Yeah, that helps. Never mind, it's still a clusterfuck. It's still a clusterfuck. So yeah, chat's a nightmare, but it's like, you think Twitch chat is bad? Add in World War III. To the point where, like, I can't show it on stream. It's that bad. Usually works fine for you. There's this website that I was using a couple of weeks ago, which is it's just like a little, it's basically just like Google Maps, but like you can place a nuclear bomb on it, and it'll tell you how far the blast radius will be. That website's been down since all of this started. You know that site? Yeah, it's been around for years, but it's like, that site's just been, it's just gone. Like, you can't get to it because I guess they're like getting DDoSed by new traffic. But I want to know what Reddit's traffic has looked like since this all started. They are probably getting a lot more traffic than usual, if I had to bet. Well, I mean, I'll say this. If Russia decides to nuke Seattle, I'm dead. So... As we are I am firmly in the blast radius of Seattle. Glad you moved out of the city. I can't move out of the city. I wish I could, but I can't. Not unless somebody wants to move in with me who drives and can chauffeur me and buy me groceries, because living in the country generally assumes that you have access to a vehicle that moves. Also, like, I can't really afford to move. I can barely, well, not barely afford, but like, realistically, I have to be very smart with my money right now. I'm between Baltimore and DC, so yeah, not many safe spots in terms of Fallout things. Yeah, it's like, if I heard that there was going to be nuclear detonations, it would just be get down into the underground parking lot and piss myself. Basically. Probably bring my pipe. And a pack of matches. And an ounce of weed. That's probably what I would do. To be honest with you. Not much we really can do. You want to practice martial art? All right. Go join the military. Got so many rangers in this fort. They all just kind of appeared, too. I'm not entirely sure where they all came from. You also want to practice martial art. All right. Go join the Copper Mirrors. Guess we'll just put rangers into the fort. You also want to practice some martial art. Kind of soldier? Let's see what weapon you picked up. To zoom out. Got enough dwarves that it's getting hard for me to read. Amateur. Oh, did Amateur get let out of prison? Nope, you're still in prison. Did I even, like, put you in the military? I think I did. I'm, like, mostly certain I did. Oh, there you are. I see. You're down. You're behind my camera. You're a recruit! Still. Oh, what'd you pick up? A lot of... Lost you. Is Stoned Hobo still around? He's not here right now, but he was here earlier today. He's currently not in the chat, if that's what you're asking, Ander. Looks like I need to make more weapons, actually. So currently you're a wrestler, or you're training to be a wrestler. Silver bars, copper. Which adamantine do we have? Let's just try and queue up 10 adamantine swords. Let's try and queue those up. Start smelting Galena. A lot of it. And let's see if we can... Yeah, and Stoned Hobo's gone. He's, had dead out, I'm assuming. Ugh. How friendly are the neighbors? The humans are pretty friendly. The elves have been trading with me, and the goblins keep invading me. So, pretty standard, I would say. I mean, I'm sure you could just add him in the food room on Discord. That's generally the easiest way to get in contact with a wild hobo. Outside of that, Wow.
Crypt Jams Crypt Mech.
Okay, Habitual, thank you very much for the 32nd month and keeping that subscription alive for so goddamn long. I just want to say a real quick, huge thank you for continuing to support the stream as long as you have. Massive thank you. Can I get a big round of beers? Tink. But, I don't know, is anybody watching Live UA map? Because something just popped up on there that's kind of whack. This was posted at 3:20 p.m. Apparently a van with the caption, "People wake up, this is war, Putin is scum," crashed into the fence at the Grand Square in Moscow and caught fire. Apparently. That's fucking crazy. It is kind of hard to explain how wild that is, actually. Fucking insane, actually. Last 10 minutes of that news feed have been kind of insane. Even more so than previously. We are mining out some more adamantine for us. And we have 865 boosts. Good. Look at all that magma. Oh, yeah. No. All of that magma. It tends to be, you know, close to the magma sea. There's also, you know, this is our reservoir. That's our forge. Great, ain't it? But I hope you've been well, Habitual. Thank you very much for keeping that sub alive. Cancel's place item in tomb item inaccessible? That's concerning. I'm just going to link this in chat because this is wild. That is crazy. I mean, right after that one is literally the next post that popped up in my feed is a post about how apparently Belarus is becoming a nuclear nation again. So that's cool. Great. But, you know, for every small victory, there's just like an equal and greater loss. But that's war for you. I give these dwarves away back up. So if I fuck this up, we're going to have a viewport into hell. But if I do it correctly, even if we fuck it up and end up with a viewport into hell, It'll be a harmless viewport into hell instead of like a viewport into hell that's gonna murder us. We're gonna extract metal strands. Get back to that. I got strands that need extracting. I could not find upward path. Yes, I know. Just have to do that. There we go. Now you guys can get out. I don't know. I believe what my family members said, which is the world hasn't been this uncertain and scary since the Cold War. I didn't grow up during the Cold War. I never had to deal with any of that shit, and I think I'm very fortunate to not have had to deal with that shit. And I completely believe people. This past, like, 4 days has been some of the most stressful few days I've ever encountered in my life. Just because of the uncertain insanity. But, you know, thanks for watching me play video games on the internet. Spending time here. Cheers, Anander. It's just been a weird month for me. Like, just before all this shit happened anyway for the stream. So, you know. Nice to be able to have this job. Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of that, code bug. There's kind of a saying amongst a lot of streamers that when you stream full time, you're an entertainer. You manage a community, you have an audience, but on top of that, you're also a lot of people's therapist. Even indirectly. Which, you know, streamers aren't therapists. We shouldn't be treated as such, but you know, we're always here to listen generally. I don't know very many streamers that aren't there to listen, if nothing else. Just wish I could do more, like I always said. Like I always say, I wish I could do more. Unfortunately, there's only so much I can do. Great power, great responsibility. I do not have great responsibility. Let's just forbid that. Huh, seems like that was what was catching up my frames. Is this full? Probably is. Yeah, it is. All right, let's drain the river actually. River door. Let's pull that lever. Many dwarfs, much power. Yeah, such frame rate, much gone. Speaking of power, let's drain a river. Uh-oh, summer's arrived on the calendar. Suddenly can't do anything because summer's arrived on the calendar. Well, let's wait for summer to no longer be arriving on the calendar and be here on the calendar so that I can pull some levers. Also, just as a reminder to anybody who doesn't know, on Thursday this week, Tarn Adams will be joining me on stream to talk about very important news, such as the Dwarf Fortress roadmap, which feels so unimportant these days. But, you know, that'll be happening. As moral support for certain streamers on a few occasions, you won't say who? I have a guess, but I won't say who. I don't know. My moral support is my vices, generally. Well, I want to hear a recording of this phone call. There's a article on the Washington Post that I can't read because I'm not a subscriber, but there's a quote out of it basically talking about Zelensky, like, asking for heavier sanctions. Literally, apparently quoted to say, we're out here dying for European ideals. Which is kind of true. All right, let's get this river draining so that we can get those bodies out of it. Because the water reservoir is full right now, so I don't need to worry about draining it. We do need to get those corpses out of there, though. What? Vices? Yeah, well. Vices aren't necessarily a positive thing, but they certainly have their uses. Just like many things. I'm so proud of this fortress. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've managed to build a really cool fort in a pretty short period of time. Quite proud of this fort. Ah, well, speaking of being proud of this fort, a vile force of darkness has come in a riven. So goblins are here to siege us once again, meaning I will put in the orders that are required of us. We're going to lock the dwarves inside and begin sealing off the fortress. And so we've closed the side door, closed that door. We just need to close that there, which is side door only. That. Perfect. So we've closed this door on the side, this door right here. Released the military, brought them back in. Whoa! But it was all a dream. My game crashed. Well, we just moved into a new season, right? Like just minutes ago, meaning the game only just saved. Well, how much did I really lose? Can't have been that much. Can I get some Fs for that vision of the future that we just had? Yeah, no, like literally, I was like just pulling the levers. Okay, well, I mean, we're gonna get sieged in a second, so might as well close the doors and get the dwarves locked inside. Thanks, Andy. Means the dwarves should theoretically they'll be pulling levers. I'm welcome for knowing that autosave doesn't require DF hack. Why would it require DF hack? Never required DF hack. It's just it's an option in the init files. It's just a few buttons that you need to hit for autosave, and you can set it to seasonal. There's no the one thing that DF hack that is required by DF hack is the oh, what's it called? The option that you get when you quick save. Quick save is the one DF hack required saving option. The one that lets you save without actually quitting. That at any time. That's DF hack only. But outside of that, you can do whatever. I like that this dwarf just feels pleasure near a fine restraint. That's good. And here comes the vile force of darkness once again. Except this time we had 10 seconds longer to prepare because the game gave us a heads up. How nice of it. Are all my doors shut? Find out. Looks like it. Question, is this open? Yes, it is. The drains are open, though, so I gotta pull a lever to close the drains. Do that now. That was many, many moons ago, but manual saving at any point does. Seasonal saving doesn't, which I learned years, well, months, maybe months after that. We all learn things, but manual saving is a DF hack exclusive feature. But yes, I'm pretty sure you are correct. Because, like, you can do this and press enter and save, right? But that boots you out to the main menu. The only feature that's required is DF hack now, or not now, but for a long time, is being able to save without exiting out to main menu. But seasonal saving has always been in the game, but there's lots of things that have always been in the game that I didn't know were in the game until afterwards. Until it's too late. It's just like, it took me like years to learn about the automating orange gems option. I used to think that like designate a whole vein to mine out was only a DF hack feature. And I've had people tell me that that's a DF hack feature since too. You know, we all learn things. Also, good night, Stone, if you're headed to bed. Or it's just like, another thing that I learned about after playing this game for years was this. Being able to hit I, then hit E, and it just builds a zone that flows to walls. Oh my god, the day I discovered that was like a life-changing moment. Then again, I've talked to people now who've like played this game for longer than I have who didn't like know how to assign a mayor, or a manager rather. What, like, did I just show you just now that you could do that with zones? Because there's the flow tool down there. You hit E to get the flow tool. And then there's the floor flow. So floor flow just flows along floors and stops at the edge of walls and will not engulf the wall. Flow also engulfs walls. And then rectangle's just the default, which is what most people use. So instead of having to, like, go in on the zone tool a second time and like cut out all of the walls to have like the right shape for a weird shaped room, you can just use the flow tool. I learned that after playing this game for years. Hey, I won. Yeah, there's just time. I feel like it's less just fortresses than it's just like sometimes worlds can just get crashy. Why are they all waiting there? Holy shit, that's a big room. I guess it doesn't help that I also have like 100 visitors. Manager stuff from me and proper military setup from me. I'm not even very good at the military stuff in DF. Oh, I don't want that to be pet passable. Lock that door. That's a artifact bone door. Can you do the same with burrows? No, I don't see an option for it, so no. Ah! Didn't expect that to have sound. Apologies. Reddit, you're supposed to be muted. God damn it. More pictures of Russian vehicles that have just been abandoned by their invading forces. A lot of them ran out of fuel? Really? Huh. Although I gotta say that far and away my favorite pictures, or my favorite footage I've seen from this whole ordeal, is the footage of the farmers dragging a tank behind a tractor. Because like there was a tractor or a tank that just ran out of fuel and they're stealing it, just running away with the pulling it behind a tractor. It's like, my God, that's a strong tractor. Good Lord. And like I was saying to Chad earlier, it's like, if you had the opportunity, if you were in a situation where your country was being invaded, you had the ability and means to steal it and keep it for yourself, and there was a tank in front of your property, would you like drag it into your barn and have a tank? Because I absolutely would. If given the opportunity and there was a tank there, you bet your ass I would grab that thing and put it in a barn. Put a big tarp on it and save it for a rainy day. You never know when you need a tank. And the Russian tractor's chasing after the tank on foot. I mean, it's great! You wouldn't download a tank? World of Tanks says otherwise. Good bug. You know, I love how online theft has gone from like, you wouldn't download a car to, you wouldn't copy a JPEG. All right, the trolls are lining up. You wouldn't fund your token. This is a very good opportunity for me to shout out a very good website called extremelyfungible.com. Where they make extremely fungible tokens. They are profile pictures that are usable for free that you can use if you want. And you can also tip the artists. And they look kind of like NFTs. The whole point. Parody NFT project. Dude, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If I was given the opportunity, I absolutely would download and 3D print an entire car. Absolutely. No questions asked. Here come all the goblins. Wow, they're fighting with a jaguar. Goblin Lasher lashes the jaguar in the head with her silver whip, bruising the muscle and jamming the skull through the brain and tearing the brain. Rip the jaguar. In fact, it looks like the goblins just attacked the jaguar. I don't think the jaguar started. Yeah, the jaguar did not start the fight. The jaguar missed. The jaguar missed. Oh, poor jaguar. Jaguar just got the shit kicked out of it. Well, that's unfortunate. Actually, the question is, do you need a 3D printer big enough to make it Red October, or do you just need, you know, more engineering capability? You're gonna put together a car out of puzzle pieces this big. Some assembly required. I mean, sees. Trying to get back to the right tab. I've got too many tabs open. So goblins coming up. Goblins are moving pretty slowly, so too bad. I posted the footage of that van burning in the subsection of Discord because it's kind of just become our talk about the invasion room on my Discord. And Cutest almost immediately just responded, "Oh no." I'm just like, go to bed. Go to bed. I will just continue to reiterate that this is my favorite meme right now, because this very accurately represents how I feel currently, and is going to continue to accurately represent how I feel currently. You had dehydration? Go back to bed, Cutest. God damn it. Go to bed. But yes, drinking will do that. You should have 10 chocolate sundaes. It might help. Not your waistline, but your general feeling. I mean, for whatever it's worth, Cutest, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, is that how you say that? Von der Leyen? I don't actually know. Has stated that Ukraine belongs in the European Union. So that's good. Van der Leyen? I European names, man. Can't do it. Says the guy with a hard to pronounce European name. Although I'm not going to tell you what my last name is. You can figure it out if you dig, but I'd rather not state my first name, last name on stream. Fucking finally. I know, right? Just for clarity's sake, this is a Russian saying that. Couple of chocolate at Camp Claire's today. I bought 2 liters of beer on the way home from the protest last night. In fact, I can show you. Unfortunately, there isn't quite 2 liters left. But, I bought this. It was very cheap. It's also very heavy. It's a very light beer. It's a coconut chai beer. Very tasty. Local breweries are wonderful. That literally cost me 12 bucks. You say pooped his paint? Putin? Wait, what? The one person that I had to ban? No, the one person I had to ban was saying very unkind things. Alright, so this is the goblin at the front of the pack. Follow this one. And they get up and around the other side of this. We lock it. It looks like... Pausing. Still a bunch of beak dogs on the outside. Let's give it another minute, I think. All right, let's pause. Jump up here. Pull this lever. And pull this lever. You heading off to bed? You have a good one? We'll see you when we see you, animal. Congratulations, on managing to hold the #1 spot on the leaderboard all week. That is quite the achievement. We'll see you Tuesday, animal. Waiting for them to, Okay, that side's locked. And bottom should be locked. Anytime now. There we go. Looks like, Ibsu, the beak dog, just saved their life by, not getting locked in. Meaning I can now unforbid the dwarves and let them run around. And, we can, give these goblins some swimming lessons, I think. You know what? Let's do this the epic way, actually. Let's do this the fun way. We'll pull this lever first. Because I think that this trap is a lot cooler when one of the drains is open from the start. All right, so we've done that. Let's pull this lever now. So, drain good to go. Now we just need one more dwarf to come in and pull on one more lever. And then we just get to watch the fireworks. Has anybody here not seen this trap go off yet? Because if you haven't, let me know. And I can run it slower. Otherwise, we'll just let it run normal speed. You haven't? All right, we'll run her a little slower. Pause. I go to the bottom of this. You see this? Well, that drawbridge, that little tiny room in the middle is going to open in a few seconds. At which point, the water then shoots down here. And if I go down to here, it's going to go way out. Vroom. That's what the trap does. That is my drowning tool. Water then falls down here into the river. But yeah, that's the amount of water pressure this trap has. Fires those massive goblin car wash off. So let's pull that lever. Close those. Close the drains. Now the problem is not all the goblins are drowning right now because the drain is open, but those are all of the ones that are underwater currently. Which is a pretty good percentage, although I'm gonna need to close the drains so that the thing fills up a little more. That they all drown instead of just some of them. Currently, like, a bunch of them are drowning over here. But they're not quite drowning because some of the water is leaking out because I wanted to, you know, have one of the drains open for dramatic effect. There we go. They're all drowning now. Much better. We may actually have to fire this off twice. There's enough of them that we may have to. That's kind of crazy. Also, somehow a beak dog got down here, which is a little bit awkward. Where the heck is this? River flow. That's the lever I want to pull. All right. Well, looks like I didn't drown enough of them. Yeah, we're still working on it. There's a bunch that are still in there. Oh, we have to just let the thing fill. Because I kind of went silly with this for dramatic effect, right? Because I went silly, it wasn't as efficient. But still fun, right? Still fun. Thanks, Pilot, for backing me up here, by the way. I was about to type at cutest and tell him to go to bed, but... It needs efficiency when you have... Yeah, you are correct. You are indeed correct. The problem is there's still, like, a bunch of goblins up here and a beak dog that haven't drowned. Yeah, there's actually kind of a lot in there that haven't drowned yet. Issue is, could have made this go a lot smoother if I'd just, you know, been more efficient about it. Yeah. Oh my god. Are the goblins actually climbing down the wall? So this fucker up here is shooting at my dwarves. This fucker right here, look at this guy. He's shooting arrows at my dwarves down here. And he's still shooting. What a guy. What a guy. Well, we're locking our dwarves inside so that we don't lose anybody here. Because of this twit. So the way that we're going to do this, I'm going to open both of these drains and we're going to reset the trap. We got a lot of levers to pull. Oh no, my dwarf got shot again. The miner bats the flying copper arrow out of the air with a copper pick and says, I must withdraw. Has the tide turned? I must press on. Well, I mean, at least you just like, doing, deflect. Literally went full Jedi on it. So hell yeah. Good for you there. Okay, so we're just going to be draining all of this stuff here. I'm also going to pull this lever. When I pull that lever, I'm going to let the dwarves hang out in the fort for a little bit. Because I kind of screwed this one up. I should have waited longer, but I didn't. Bunch of dwarves are going to go pull levers. So we're going to drain out the trap and reset it. There it goes. Front door is opening. My neighbor's playing music so loud I can hear it. That's annoying. Goblins are still drowning. Some of them. I just need them to start coming in here again. Oh. Well, So Goblin takes the full force of the impact, and, well, I think it's safe to say that this Goblin is dead. Good luck getting out of there. Oh, are you trying to climb out? Well, that's cute. So this Goblin right here fell down the waterfall and is now stuck in my drain. Good for you, I guess, there, Goblin. Good for you. I don't see you ever getting out of there. So, you know, just to help your cause, I think I'm going to pull this lever. I'm also currently draining the bottom of this river out. Currently. It is getting a lot shallower, but not quite shallow enough yet to actually, like, do any damage. Flush? No, I'm just plugging the drain so that it fills up entirely so that he just drowns. Because it will fill up deep enough to just drain him, to drown him. I just need a dwarf to pull a lever. And then it'll fill all the way up to here, which there's no way in hell he's going to climb out of that. He's currently not able to climb out, so he'll fall in and drown. Be fine. Most of the goblins, though, are on the far side, on the other side of the river. A lot of them didn't even make it in the beginning. But we're letting a lot of them escape. I mean, this upper area drains super quick. We need that initial rush of the water to actually drown them all. So we're also filling this up, which is the reservoir that we use to drown them all, which has got a couple levels to go. I mean, it's currently like 1.5 full, which means we need to fill it all the way up to here, which is going to take a little bit. Problem is, we're also draining this, which is like slowing down the flow a little bit, but you know. So let's watch this guy drown. I mean, I will always try to inspire you to play cool video games. CDDA is a very cool video game, so if you're enjoying CDDA, keep enjoying CDDA. Meanwhile, Ezum, the herbalist, withdraws from society during a battle, nonetheless. Hopefully he makes something cool for us. Senior advisor in EU Parliament says that fighter jets for Ukraine will be in the sky within the hour, and support is arriving at an astonishing speed. That's good. It's going to be a really weird night. I think out of all of the nights since fighting started, I think this is going to be the weirdest. Not much of a problem. Oh, true. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to play a game that's not on phones. On a phone. So we are following a farmer who's claimed a craft store shop in a fey mood while the trap is draining, which gives us something else to pay attention to, which is fun. Also, if anybody would like a dwarf in this fort, just give me a shout. We got plenty of dwarves in every job. So if you would like your name in this fort, just let me know. And just as a reminder, the vast majority of my streams are archived on this YouTube channel. And also, if you like the sound of my voice, I have a podcast with me and my stream team, which I edit. New episode went up this morning. So if you're interested in listening to podcasts about video games, with a very diverse cast of peoples, myself included, except I'm in every episode. Everybody else kind of rotates. Because I do the production stuff, I'm on every episode. But if you like the sound of my voice, and you want to hear me talking about video games in other contexts instead of just Dwarf Fortress specifically, generally, you can get that there. While I clean my glasses, because I can't see shit right now. It's like when you just get to critical mass of, like, glasses dirtiness, and you just need to clean them, you don't really have a choice. You're up, and any dwarf will do. How does a weapon smith sound? For whatever it's worth in Andar, you still have books in Long Death. She feels fondness when speaking with an acquaintance, and she didn't feel anything after having an intellectual discussion with an acquaintance, and was interested after watching a performance, but felt euphoric due to inebriation and delighted after watching a performance. You have a bunch of friends, you're not married, and no family. Maybe you can write books. I would have had to give you a scholar then. She has very long hair, which is tied in a ponytail, and she has a prominent chin. Her ears are extremely tall, and her heliotrope eyes are somewhat narrow. Her hair is black, and her skin is dark peach. She is 57 years old, born on the 4th of Opal in the year 112. She doesn't particularly value loyalty. She dreams of creating a great work of art. She cannot tolerate difference in culture, lifestyle, or appearance. And she is shameless and absolutely unfazed by the thoughts of others, would never pass up a chance for a good fist fight, and doesn't seek out excitement. She generally acts impartially, and she is rarely moved to mercy. She likes to keep things practical without delving too deeply into the abstract, and she can easily fall in love or develop positive feelings. She has a noticeable lack of perseverance, and she tends to think before acting. She has little interest in joking around, and she tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. She takes offered help and gifts without feeling particularly grateful, and she has a greedy streak. She takes offered help. She becomes very rigid when she's angry, and her hands begin moving when she becomes exasperated, and she needs alcohol to get through the working day, and doesn't really care about anything anymore. You are somewhat focused with satisfied needs. Your deity is Deller Diamond Crest, the mountainous deity of the Crimson Pulley. Takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with mountains. You worship the god of mountains. And you have a bunch of friends in the fort, including Piranha Pearl, rest in peace, Ponce, who's still around, and Rory is a passing acquaintance. You're currently listening to poetry. Welcome to the fort. You know? Nah, I don't want to try that. Just thinking, like, maybe I could just, like, send out my squads and just kill the rest of them, but it's kind of a lot of them. Kind of a lot of them. Alright, so I should be able to just remove movement restrictions on the dwarves and just let them go wherever in the fort. Thus allowing... What do you need? Stacked cloth, okay. Forest, okay. Already got that. Shining bars of metal, okay. Stacked leather, alright. Quarry, alright. Skeletons, alright. Slaughter something. Like, like this stray puppy. There we go. Let's slaughter a puppy. That'll be fine. We'll see you when we see you, Andy. Thank you much for hanging out. Good to see you as always. Alright, puppy's been slaughtered. Dwarf goes to collect puppy bones. And then you run off, probably go to get bars of metal. Nope. Apparently not. Cloth then? Probably stacked cloth. Yeah, you're running to the cloth stockpile. Okay. What are you going to go grab next? In this case. Alright, what do you want now? Or skeletons, I think. Don't really want to slaughter my giant skinks, though. Well, I can slaughter one of them. One of them. Hello, Mino. Hello. How are you? Also, chat, as always, if you enjoy the streams, you want to help me out, you can give the channel a host. You can share the stream on any kind of social media that you have access to. Speaking of crazy things, the Forgotten Beast Snog Sodoromo has come. A towering quadruped composed of snow. It has a short trunk and it undulates rhythmically. Well, that's going to get slapped by a plump helmet man and fall to pieces, because they do that. Pretty quickly, generally. Thank you much, Yellowmino. Goes a long way. Also, I do want to shout out one other thing. This is streamer being a dirty sellout for a second here. I pay all my bills for by streaming full-time, and this week's been kind of slow for some obvious reasons, but I just want to shout out the fact that you can get #1 on the leaderboard for no less than 400 bits, which is $4. If you happen to have 400 bits, or even 301 bits for that matter, on your account, you can get #1 on that sometimes coveted and highly competed for leaderboard spot. That being said, of course, You take care of yourselves first. But Screamer is here. And that leaderboard is quite achievable to gain a position, quite reasonable to get a position on this week. That's the end of my short sales pitch for that. Let's follow you until else gets slaughtered. You guys want to see something cool? Putin reportedly has a $97 million luxury yacht called Graceful. A group of hackers on Saturday figured out a way to mess with maritime traffic data and made it look like the yacht had crashed into Ukraine's Snake Island, and then changed its destination to hell. Homing Drunk, thanks for the 9th month. Welcome back. Oh, well, there's that. I mean, I hate reminding people about Prime because then I just sound like I'm Ninja going, hey, you heard about Twitch Prime? Do you have Twitch Prime? You should hear about it. Fucking guy. Anyway, thank you very much for the 9th month. Welcome back, Homing Drunk. Enjoy the ad-free viewing for the next 30 days, courtesy of you clicking a button. Cheers. Jack, can I get a round of beers for that? I need to pour more coffee. My mug's empty, so this is fake. That's not true. There was a driplet in the bottom of that. Those hackers. Those little scoundrels. Goddamn gamers. No, it wasn't 4chan. Well, I mean, the anonymous collective has been tweeting recently that they are siding with Ukraine, whatever that means. Which means a lot, but also nothing. Which generally is how all that stuff goes. But seriously, thank you very much for the Prime sub. That's the Someone's playing music in the hallway. Trying to figure out why I'm hearing Michael Jackson. That's all. Turns out the reason I'm hearing Michael Jackson is because somebody is either moving in or out or something, and they have the door propped open and they're playing music in their apartment. It's like, why the fuck am I just hearing Beat It? What's going on? I went and peeked through the door. And, yeah, turns out somebody's moving or something. Or moving furniture in. I don't know. Giant moth is fighting with goblins, apparently. I can't remember the last time, air quotes, famous hacker was attributed to 4chan codebug. It's kind of a old internet cut, that. Apparently New Zealand has pledged $2 million for humanitarian support. That's cool. Also, apparently the hackers who went after Putin's yacht are affiliated with an anonymous offshoot referred to as the Anon Leaks. Whatever that means. Whoever they are, they have 15,000 followers on Twitter, which means whatever. Apparently they did it by manipulating maritime automatic identification system, which is used to track ship locations. Leaks? Like, not L-E-E-K-S, L-E-A-K-S, as in leak. Like a leaky faucet leak, not leek as in, like, the vegetable. Although, I do appreciate leeks as a vegetable. They are a delicious vegetable. Ambush demonstration. This is, like, the most valuable military training you can just get in Dwarf Fortress for free. Just make a Rangers Guild and let them teach ambush demonstrations, because ambushing is such a hard skill to train in Dwarf Fort. But yeah, I too can be an old internet kind of person every now and again. Sometimes I catch myself like referencing things that I know some people in chat just won't get. It's like, well, what, hacking Putin's yacht? Fuck yeah, hack Putin's yacht. Just do things that'll make him mad, but not mad enough that he'll nuke everybody. Don't hack into Putin's yacht if it will make him nuke the planet, please. Do hack into Putin's yacht if it's funny. But changing the destination of the yacht to hell is pretty funny. All right, how's the filling of this doing? Quite. It's not going to be full enough for a while. That's unfortunate. Also, I should probably just, like, start the river filling again. Did we drown that goblin? Yeah, we drowned that goblin. Good news! We drowned that goblin! Alright, since we drowned that goblin, let's get the river filling again. Because I need the water to be able to, fill my reservoir. Thanks for the $4, Codebug. Congratulations, you just almost doubled my weekly bits revenue. Cheers, thank you. I try not to be too needy, but streamers gotta pay bills. Chat, can I get a round of beers for Codebug? Sharing the $4 into my paycheck. You've never used bits before? I do have certain secret amounts for sounds. Like if you want to run in the 90s, it's 90 bits. 300 makes that this is Sparta classic sound. Also, it's funny that, like, Animal went to bed and is no longer #1. Get wrecked, Animal. Get wrecked-imal. But thanks for popping your bits, Jerry, and throwing bits at me. Big thanks. Did you? Ah, cool. You did get everything you needed. Means we'll be getting an artifact soon. Cutest, are you giving up on sleeping? Or are you still finishing your water? I think about 80% of the people I follow right now are streaming Elden Ring or Lost Ark. It's actually kind of insane. All right. Ezum, the herbalist, has created a pomelo wood earring named Inari Besh. Thanks for the $5, Red Octo. Cheers, man. If anybody's got a Prime sub sitting around, you can hype train that. That'd be the first hype train this week. True story. In the name of the family ancestor, Inul Laborlulled. Chat, can I get a couple more beers? And thanks for the $5. You guys have doubled my weekly tip revenue. This is a pomelo wood earring. All craft store ships of the highest quality. It is encrusted with oval, raw adamantine cabochons and decorated with pomelo wood, and alpaca wool, and encircled with bands of avocado and eagle leather. Of avocado wood and eagle leather. This object is adorned with hanging rings of coffee wood and dog bone, and menaces with spikes of cave spider silk. On the item is an image of pond grabbers in electrum. On the item is an image of 2 forgotten beasts in giant skink bone. It's worth 334,800. Bethel. Lasted less than 5 minutes. Hey, you're still number 2. It's better than being number 3. But, you know, it's not a contest. Everybody gets a short claim to fame. There you go. Put that earring on that stop there. It's keeping this silly channel funded that counts, I think. So I've got a human criminal that is tantruming while in prison. And is now punching some of the guests that we have in this fort, who are now immediately leaving. Because we have this open design plan for our prison. It's just a bunch of chains in this room that is used as our office. And this human criminal who tried to convince my dwarves to steal artifacts from us on behalf of a different power is now tantruming due to being in prison for too long and punching people. So that's great. Just punched an elf. You goddamn human. You're nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble. I'm wondering if he's going to get more crimes accused. I'm curious to see if outsiders can get, what's it called? What's it called? Public disorder charges? I actually can't remember it, but disorderly conduct. That's what I was looking for. Disorderly conduct. But thank you very much, Codebug, Red Octo, for the $9 between the two of you. Really does go a long way. Well, how deep is this? Not deep enough. Nearly enough for that beer? Yeah, you guys almost, well, actually, no, because I paid for that beer in Canadian dollars, which it was $12 for that. Also $5 for the jar, but $12 in beer. So if you factor that into Canadian dollars, it almost breaks even. Almost. All right, let's relock the dwarves in here. Let's pull that lever. Pull this lever. And pull these levers. I'm reopening the trap. Also, investments are open if you want to invest your tickets. Speaking of sales pitches, if you ever hear people using sound commands in this stream, they're $7 a month on Patreon for unlimited access. It also gets you into the credits of my edited videos. Just saying. Anyway, streamer's done, like, selling his own shit to you guys. At least I don't try and sell you bathwater. Alright, meaning the goblins are going to be able to turn around now. Dwarf bathwater. You need to be careful when trying to sell dwarven bathwater. Giant snail is fighting with a beak dog. There's a giant snail on the map, apparently. Huh. All right. That seems dangerous. Axon is depressed. All right, well, this goblin seems to be making it through, so we're going to have to charge and fight with this goblin, I think. There isn't too much I can do about this. Goblin drowning water. Certified legitimate water used to drown a goblin once. So if I dress up as a goblin, pour water on my head, and then bottle that water and sell it to you as drowned goblin water, would you buy it? Asking for future sales purposes, I'm considering this market research. Let's go kill that goblin. How deep is this water? Not very deep. All right, what are they doing? They're all just like sitting there. Guys, come on. Seriously. Just walk in my front door and drown. Was trying to steal my loincloth. The loincloth brings all the thieves to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours, only if it's verified via blockchain. My morals do not permit me to do that. Even as somebody who actually kind of likes cryptocurrency stuff, my morals do not permit me to mint NFTs. Although I do need to ask Tarn Adams on Thursday when we're going to get to see dwarves on the blockchain. Just to hear what his ironic answer would be to that. Splort. There goes Goblin. I consider that that goblin plastered. Where are all these fucking goblins at, yo? Why aren't they in, like, heading for my entrance? You guys have, like, one job, and it's go stand inside in the water drowning area so that I can make you guys gurgle. They're all shooting arrows at something. What are they shooting at? That's kind of scary, Darren. Darren just sent me a link to a thing on Twitter. It's never a good thing. What the fuck are they shooting arrows at? Or crossbow bolts, more likely, actually. Just spread all over the place. It's so strange. This has been such a long, drawn-out siege. Problem is my military actually isn't that trained up currently. Because they really, really, really are not. You want to pray, wonder, practice a martial art. Congrats on those wins, guys. Good investments. Looks like the water pumping sped up. Rip your points into pieces. Is this your last resort? Um, So I'm not sure how they got here, but there's a whole bunch of goblins in the drainage pipe here. I'm not sure where they're trying to get to. You know, you guys could just walk into the fort from there, right? Yeah, it's just a diagonal walkway. They could totally just walk into the fort. I guess they took a detour. Perhaps they're waiting for backup, maybe? Well, you know what? Let's do this. Station our squads right here. Let's take out these trolls. They may have climbed the walls. I see that as being very unlikely, but it is possible. They were shooting arrows at us down on this bridge. I just wait for the military to get here. That is insane. Apparently on Thursday alone, Russians withdrew $1.3 billion in US monies, 111 billion rubles. That is a crazy amount of money. To be taken out in cash in such a short period of time. All right, let's unforbid this store and steamroll them. All right, so my dwarves run in. And looks like the Hammerlord is immediately doing some work. Bashes the troll in the head with his Lush Meliaz, bruising the skull and jamming the skull through the brain and tearing the brain. Good. Get to work, dwarves. Pile through. Ooh, yep, that's what I like to see. One of my dwarves has immediately entered a martial trance. A bunch of them have, including Ponce. What does Ponce have to say? Oh, Red Octobear is terrified while in conflict. Well, that's not good. Can it all end so quickly? I must not succumb to fear. Well, did you? No. You didn't get a kill either, though. Meanwhile, Ognet has, like, immediately got a kill. So good for you, Ognet. Because I don't think Ognet had any kills on trolls previously. Well, looks like most of the trolls are dead. This, unfortunately, is not going to be the end of the siege, though. Much as I'd love it to be, it won't be. Although it is going to cause me some problems. And I can explain those problems pretty simply. In that there's now a dead body in here. Issue with that, pretty simple. Means I need to get the body out of here. In order for us to maintain ownership of the spot. Also, shout outs to the dwarf who brought their baby into battle against these here bads. Oh, hey, that actually killed the siege. They're all just leaving now. Well, I guess what we should do then... Yeah, okay, so there's still a bunch in there. I guess what we're going to do then is we're just going to slam the fucking door on them. Slam the door. We'll just do that. Just lock the door, because apparently that broke the siege. Doing that. Killing those, trolls. Seems to have completely broke the siege, which is actually real good for me. So now, we can seal this area off with the few goblins that are in here, because there's a handful of goblins in there, and drown them too. Excellent. Well, this just is a net positive for us. Apparently they are getting shot at with arrows again. Let's see, has this been sealed off yet? That's top half has, bottom half has as well. All right, well, let's give it some time to finish filling, and then we will attempt to drain them again, because this drainage pipe is kind of full of goblins still, which is a little bit suboptimal, although I'll probably be able to just kind of flush them off the edge here, which is what I'm going to try and do, and force them down into here, which will hopefully drown them. Although we do have to wait a little bit longer for this to fill back up, so. Speaking of, how full is this? Well, we've only got, like, what, a few more layers to go. We'll just let it fill up. We'll just let it fill up to the top, and we'll worry about it. Well, let's open up the side door. Just check some test spots. Seems like there are still definitely goblins outside on the map. A lot of them are still in here, so that's good. This little mace goblin. I'm not sure what direction he's headed. But he's definitely, like, leaving the map. Noted. All right. Yeah, it seems like they're all just kind of trying their best to leave. Which I don't blame them. But these ones ain't leaving. These ones are going to gurgle on their own saliva until they drown. Hand excellent. There we go. That's that siege dealt with minimal casualties. Oh, shit. So it looks like, so you know how I earlier asked, I'm like, I wonder if a human commits a crime of disorderly conduct while in prison, that is not a member of your fort, it still counts as a crime. Look at that. Look at all these witnesses. 12 witnesses, 8 witnesses, 5 witnesses. What's your sentence right now? 117 days? Let's see how long it goes up to. Let's see how long it goes up to. All right, let's jump back over here. 201 days. I do not own a Switch and have zero intention on ever buying one. So no, I have not played Arceus, and I have no interest in any Pokemon game. Oh, interesting. Google confirmed on Sunday that it has temporarily disabled in Ukraine some maps tools which provide live information about traffic conditions and how busy different places are out of concern of safety of local communities. Well, that's unfortunate. Because you'd think that it would give, like, local communities a way to, like, get around busy traffic areas. I'm actually really curious about that now. Chat, do you guys think that that's actually, like, a concern to local communities? I guess, like, maybe it would show, like, Russians where there's large clusters of people, but also at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's a benefit and a disservice. But that explains why my maps information suddenly ceased to function. Because I was using Google Maps earlier. Oh, there's the panicky dwarf. Was using ooh! You're beating up our visitors, dwarf. You look like you're gonna get your shit kicked in, probably. Yeah, and how is it? I don't have much interest in that game, Illicit. Looks to be too much show, not enough game. You have a good night, Bastet. Sleep well. What? Well, this dwarf is going to have to go to prison for a long time because apparently this dwarf just killed my mayor. Clowny Cobalt's last words was, "This is a fight. I am not scared. Through some wounds. Begone fear. Been injured. Badly. I feel hopeless. I no longer have a manager because they just got murdered by one of my dwarves." Great. Well, guess it's time to assign a new manager. I think Rowell was going to get it. Rowell from YouTube. And you need an office assigned, and I can't remember where I had manager's office assigned. Yeah, that's the mayor's office. So where did I have the manager's office assigned? Well, I'll just give you this lovely chair up here. No, not to the mayor. To you, manager. And bookkeeper can also go to Rowell. There you are. And broker can be given to somebody else. Let's give the broker job to the Ranger Vinsati, who I haven't heard from in a couple days. Hope he's okay. All right. There we go. Goblin bodies continue to be brought, or rather, not goblin. Troll bodies continue to be put away. And the reservoir continues to refill. Oh no! Waterborne has risen as a ghost. I thought that we dealt with that body, but I guess not. And I got a few bodies that need to be dealt with. Pretty slow and typical. Did like the beastie moving around on the map? Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty. I've played so many city builders. It has to be doing something really novel for me to be interested in it, or have a theme that I'm super sold on or interested in. Not a theme that I'm super sold on or interested in, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything particularly mechanically different. Currently, like, the next city builder that I'm very much looking forward to is just the remaster of Pharaoh, just because I want to play Pharaoh again. It's also kind of sad that Waterborne is just like sitting there on the trading depot going like, what happened to me? Sorry, Goden. You were a good dwarf. For those of you who missed it, earlier today, this dwarf held off an entire siege of goblins by himself in the river while drowning. Eventually did succumb to the gurgle, but until succumbing to the gurgle, did a very good job fending off the enemy force, keeping our dwarves safe. Let's dump all of this and check crimes. There we go. 12 counts of disorderly conduct. Kind of sad you didn't get one count of murder. Pretty sure that's a murder count, because you did just kill one of my original 7 founders. Clowny Cobalt. It was a good dwarf. Never asked a lot of us. And let's see how full this is. Gotta be getting there. Okay, well, it's on to the last layer of filling. I'm just going to pull this lever. Let's just see if we can gurgle these goblins. Trap go whoosh. Now we wait. It's mostly the goblins in the drain that I'm really curious about. And then this go. There it goes. I don't actually think I've watched it from this angle yet. All right, so how many more of them did I get? Quite a few of them. Quite a few of them. That actually looked really cool from the top of the reservoir on the inside there. How deep is that? 7 of 7? How the fuck are you not drowning there? This goblin is completely engulfed in water. There it goes. Okay. Maybe it just wasn't showing the background out of a bug or something. There you go. How many are left? Just a few in the river, apparently. All right, so let's pull the drains. Oopsies. Pull the lever. Pull the drain. And pull the drain. Apparently I had a tamed giant moth that we just found dead that I was unaware of. Maybe I purchased it. Actually, I think I did purchase that. Oops. All right, so we're going to try and flood the last few goblins off the edge of this. So this should open in a sec right here, which is hopefully going to flood them off the edge. Let's see how this goes for them. Because suddenly it's gonna go from being like a trickle of water with no pressure to being a whoosh of water with all the pressure coming through here, which is hopefully just gonna throw them off the edge and let them splat real quickly. So let's see how this goes. Really need to like fix this so that they don't walk this way next time, but we have a project to fix. All right, so top side's draining. Now bottom side's draining, so the full force of the water is now pouring out. Let's see how this goes. Really curious to see if it just pushes them off the edge or not. Right? Looks like it's pushing them. Looks like it's pushing them. This is my first time getting to see this here in this fort, so we'll see if there's enough water power from the drain to, like, knock them back. It is 7 of 7, so it should be. It should be. All right, so they're falling down. Fall down to the lower layer. Fall down again to the lower layer. Fall down a third time to the lower layer. All right. And there they go. Look at that. Although they didn't drown in the river, which is suboptimal. But they also didn't die of the fall damage. However, now they're just in the river and no longer in the drain pipe. So there is enough water flow on the drain of that to push a living creature out of the drain and down into here, which is good. But issue is, well, they're not dead, which is kind of an issue. I would say. Where are they trying to go? Are they trying to climb up the waterfall? Like, what are they actually trying to do? This is such a weird route to take. Or are they trying to get into the fortress this way? Because that's pretty suicidal. Hold up. Pause that. Let's see if I can get a random act of comedy. Let's pull the river flow lever. Come on. Don't you move. Don't you move too fast. Stay there. Come on. Walk back. Walk. Aww. Man. I was hoping that would go boing and send him into space, but I am much disappointed. Cancel the lever pull. You have 117 days. You have 117 days. You get a beating in 190 days. And you get 26 for killing my mayor. Or for killing my expedition leader, which kind of sucks. But how do you like your time in prison? Repentant. Well, that's good. That'll make you feel better. So at least you're saying sorry for killing the important person. I'm just kind of hoping that this continues. Oh my god, that's amazing, actually. So I figured out where they were trying to get to. And the spot that they were trying to get to is this tiny little island right here. Because I have, like, you know, this little giant island here, which now has 2 goblins living on it. That's kind of amazing. All right. So far, so good. I guess maybe we have some target practice. Meanwhile, these 2 are heading, I'm not sure where. Where are you 2 heading? How deep is this? Maybe we just taught these goblins how to swim. I don't know. I'm just kind of at a loss here, but. Chat room. I think that this has been a fun session of this fortress. We've been streaming for 8.5 hours, though. And I have a video to prep for tomorrow. So I think I'm going to split and run for today, just because we are kind of lurky now, so it seems kind of like a pretty decent time to call it. I think we're going to save here. And we will return to this fortress another day. Not sure which day. But before I sneak away here, I will just say, generally with streams like this in the evenings, when we get close to kind of the 8-hour-ish mark, it really kind of depends on chat activity. If chat's popping, I keep going longer. Otherwise, I call it a little early. And I think today I'm going to call it a little earlier than I would normally. View counts are low. Chat is quiet. So it means it's time for me to close up shop here. But before I vanish, I'm just going to say, hey, if you could check out this podcast, that'd be pretty fucking rad. And if you happen to own an Apple device, you could leave it a review on iTunes. That would be even cooler, because getting reviews on podcasts is the only thing that's harder than making a living in this industry. So if you could